being productive right now, my God, if I see one more thing on the internet about saying, like, especially for academics, like, oh, this is the time to write your thesis, like, this is how the next great American novel was written or whatever, like, fuck you, fuck all of you. Hi y'all, so I wanted to do my nails, and lucky for me, I'm broke, so I've always been doing my own nails, so the nail salon being closed does not affect me. And I thought I would just like chat about a bunch of things. I have like some notes that I wrote down, but it's really disorganized. But basically, I just want to talk a little bit about the quarantine, what it means to me because I always stay at home, what it means to the world at large, and what's going on, how is their mental health doing, how should we be coping, what should be happening, what shouldn't be happening, and things like that. So if you're interested to stay at home with me, get your nails done with me, and chat a little bit about this quarantine, then keep on watching. Okay, so first I'm gonna need the base coat. So obviously the quarantine has been going on now for like 2 weeks or something. And we all should be staying home for sure. And what I find, I can't be talking very loud because I was on a conference call, literally like on the other side of the wall. So I hope that everyone can hear me. I have a really loud voice, so it's hard for me to speak softer. But anyways, so yeah, we should all be staying at home, and it's been hilarious to me to see all of the responses online. Because, you know that meme that's like, when you realize that your regular lifestyle is other people's quarantine? That's me. That's me. So I've been in quarantine forever. I've definitely been in quarantine for like 3 years since I started my PhD, because PhD, like, I just gotta read and write, which I do at home, and of course I have to leave when I teach the class, but that's about it. But so I started thinking about it, like, why am I this way? And I think like for 3 reasons my regular life is really y'all's quarantine life. And first of all, it's because I'm a huge introvert. I'm a homebody. I get my energy by being alone, not by being with people. Like, love staying at home. Some of it is cultural, some of it's not. But yeah, so I'm a huge introvert. Second is that I'm definitely, you know, this PhD program like definitely has escalated my quarantine lifestyle because we don't have to go to campus. Like, I know a lot of people in my department do, but we don't have to unless we're teaching or doing office hours. Everything can be done from home, and I prefer to do shit from home because I also am broke, so I cook all my meals and do all of that stuff, so it's really nice for me to be home. And then honestly, the third point why quarantine is my regular lifestyle, it's because, oh my God, I did both of my hands before putting it in the machine. You see, I can't multitask. Oh my God. Woo. But yeah, oh my God, can I put my ring in there? Not sure. Yeah, and then the last thing is that I'm broke because, yeah, so I'm just trying to take full advantage of my rent. So to talk a little bit about the first point, which is introverts, like, this is our time, this is the best, we're thriving right now. I'm not going to be offering no empathy to extroverts at this time. I'm sorry, not sorry, but the whole world revolves around your lifestyle. Like, you dominate this world. Introverts are constantly forced to hang with people, to go to happy hours, to do team playing things, to just basically be on all the freaking time when we just want to be home and chill. So no empathy. But I think like on the introvert point, there's 2 things. One is a little bit of a cultural thing, because I do know, let me press this button again. I do know that like Eastern cultures tend to be a little bit more to themselves. Like when I first moved to the Netherlands, I was talking to this other Eastern European girl, and she was telling me how, and it was an international boarding school, she was telling me how she always wants to have lunch by herself, like just sit in a cafe and do her lunch, but people always come to sit with her because they think she's sad. And it's like, we're not sad, we just want to sometimes have lunch by ourselves. So part of it is that, but I think a bigger issue is that I am extremely comfortable with myself. I do not seek external validation. I do not need to hang with other people to feel fine. And I think that is a problem for a lot of people, and I think that's a reason a lot of people are struggling right now, and a lot of people are realizing, oh, I do hang with people 24/7, or like do activities that take, you know, like do things basically because I can't stay by myself. And I've said this before, and I know that like a lot of people disagree with me, and that's fine, you can disagree with me, but I think that genuinely, if you are unable to be with yourself like at all, there is something wrong, and you should, you know, seek some type of help. And I say this with like all the genuinity for all, with all of the goodness and love and kindness and good intention, but like seriously, you know, we should be able to be by ourselves. We should be comfortable to be by ourselves, to find like the validation within ourselves and all of that stuff, which of course, you know, like quarantine is way more than that. But I do think, especially in Western cultures, especially in the US, people, I know, like maybe it's also like my group, but I know a lot of people who are simply like unable to be by themselves at all. Like you just have to be with people hanging all the freaking time. And I've just never been that way. I know that I am enough. I love my own company. Like I am the best company when I'm by myself. I'm never bored. I'm never, you know, I don't feel like I need other people. I love being with people sometimes, but I don't ever feel like I need other people. And on the extroverts dominate this world point, I also find it especially interesting, you know, in this like PhD program that I'm doing, I like having a boyfriend or having a fiance is like the greatest excuse to get out of everything, because you know, whenever people invite me somewhere, I can simply say, oh no, I have to go home to hang with my fiance. Oh no, I have plans with my fiance. And like, that's fine. When in reality, Isaiah's always at work, okay? I come home and I hang by myself. But for some reason in this culture, I don't know if it's a US thing, I don't know if it's my department thing, I don't know, but it's a thing. It's a thing in a lot of places. For some reason, it's like not acceptable to say like, no, like I just wanna go home, like I don't wanna hang, like I just don't want to hang. When all of my like single girlfriends and single friends who just are introverts and want to go home are like, you know, it's bad for them to say that. It's like, oh no, you should be hanging. But anyways, and then moving on to the second point, which people sometimes ask me, because y'all know I'm always at home. People ask me, oh, but what do you do at home? Like, what do you do at home? Bitch, the same thing you do out the home. Like, I don't get it. I genuinely don't get the question, especially when it comes from fellow PhD people. Oh my God, I'm afraid to put this nail polish on right now. Because because it's like our work doesn't involve leaving the house much. So like, I'm doing the same readings you're doing. I'm writing the same papers you're doing. Like, I don't really understand what the question here is. But with this point, also returning to the fact that I'm poor. So I think like that's another thing where a lot of people don't like really think through this or understand, especially in the US or under capitalism in general. Like, leaving the house costs money. Like, you know all the tweets and memes about like walking down in New York City, like you walk down one block, you spend $20. You walk down another block, you spend another $20. Like, that's just how it is. Like, everything costs money. So like people, you know, I would enjoy to go out for lunch with my friends all the time, or like drinks or all of that stuff. All of that shit costs money. Like, so many of the things that people do outside the house, and they're like, oh, why don't you do these things with us? Like, bitch, I'm broke, okay? Like, I can't be spending money like that. And you know, the same goes for activities. Like, I would love to go, what's that thing that you all do? Paint and sip, or like whatever, like paint and sip, and escape rooms, or like Top Golf, or laser tag. I don't know, all that shit. Like, I would love to. I freaking love activities so much. That costs money, a lot of money. So I think for a lot of poor people, like, staying at home, nothing new. Maybe I should never do videos while I'm doing something. So the third or whatever, fourth point that I wanted to talk about was the conditions under which we are staying in quarantine. So you know how like all of these celebrities, oh my god, I'm fucking these nails up, whatever. All of these celebrities are tweeting like, I'm so bored, oh my god, it sucks so much, it's so sad. Like Kim Kardashian tweeting from her home fucking movie theater, send us ideas on what to do. Bitch, you have like 25 bedrooms, 12 bathrooms, a home movie theater, a gym, a tennis court, a swimming pool. Your backyard is bigger than my country. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I really don't know what to tell you. So yeah, obviously not all of us are staying in the same types of conditions. So staying indoors, like, offers different challenges to different people. I've been mostly concerned with and thinking so much about people who are living with toxic parents, abusive parents, family members, partners, situations of domestic violence. Like, that has been on my mind so much because, God, if I was back in Latvia, if I was like a teenager living in Latvia and my dad was home for this, like, day 3, I would be out in the streets trying to catch corona. And like, no joke, like, people's home situations can be that bad. I mean, like, yeah, like, it can be really, really bad. And also, it's not even like regularly they're bad, but under these conditions, when everyone's forced to be at home, they're extra bad. Like, people that are violent become more violent, you know, like, oh my God, like. And then, of course, also, you know, in terms of your social class and your wealth, like, people live in different types of housing. So, like, I live in a 1-bedroom with my boyfriend, with my fiance, and I think it's a big 1-bedroom. It's definitely bigger than the place I grew up in, but people would probably say it's a small 1-bedroom. But anyways, like, it's a 1-bedroom, which I think is, I mean, like, to me it feels great because we've also lived with roommates and studios and stuff like that. But like, I have friends in DC, like couples who are living in studio apartments. I had to take a break. So yeah, couples who are living in studio apartments in DC because the rent is sky high and they're both expected to work from home, to like do conference calls all day long, like 2 people in a studio. Like, how does that work? You know, like, I have to be quiet the whole day because Isaiah's on conference calls. I don't understand how it can work with 2 people. So this expectation that we can work as usual is just like, nah. And then this is like, I can't even comprehend what the people with kids are dealing with right now. Like, that is just, I cannot imagine. So yeah, we all live in different places, and especially, you know, like, sharing a small space with someone, like, as I said before, quarantine is like not new to me, but there's 2 things that really have affected me, and one of them is like having to be with my partner 24/7 in a small space. Like, that's hard. I think I read somewhere about like the China quarantine they had, that the divorce rates like went up because it's hard, and it's so much harder than like if I was in like a nice suburban house and in a Maryland suburb with like 5 bedrooms and we could just each take a wing of the house. Like, it's different, you know. Like, at this point I'm extremely jealous, in like a good way jealous, of everybody that is living in a house right now, or even has like a balcony or whatever, that you're able to like step outside and like feel the sunlight, you know, like step into it, or like even have a garage to be able to work out. Like, my God, the things how much I would pay right now to be able to do a burpee, because like, I can't work out. I'm on a 7th floor. Like, if I do burpees in the morning, 15 people are gonna be running up the stairs to complain, you know? So it's like, it's different. This quarantine is gonna have a different effect on people just based off like what our living situations are like. And like, as I said, you know, like, I am an introvert. I need time alone. Like, Isaiah and I are each in our own room for most of the day. Like, I can't spend the whole day staring at someone else's face. Like, I just cannot. I need my me time. I'm not Janae. I need my me time. I would die dating her. Like, I cannot. I need me time. So I think like the main way that this has affected my life is that gym. Y'all, I'm struggling so hard. I'm struggling so hard without a gym. my God, like I always knew this was gonna be a problem. And also, mind you, I went to Guatemala right before this quarantine, so I was gonna be gone at least a month, like at least a month without my fitness class at 45, which I do every single morning. And I kid you not, I like took that into consideration. I was like, is it worth it going to Guatemala if I'm not gonna be able to work out for a month? But I was like, whatever, it's just a month. Just a month. It's gonna be like 4, 5, 6 months. But yeah, and I know that like this is something I struggle with because I have placed so much of my mental health onto like working out. Basically, like my mental health is dependent on me working out. So this is not a great time for me. Also, because I'm home all day and I'm not working out, I'm just eating. I've gained like 5 kilograms at least already, and I'm probably gonna gain more. And like that's not great for my mental health. And for people, I think with people with mental health issues and people with eating disorders, this is a horrible time for us. It's terrible. And yeah, it's just, it's not okay. And I think we should all just be very careful with one another because, you know, like some of us can laugh at the memes that's like, oh, you know, look at me finishing my quarantine snacks in day 1. And then some of us with eating disorders and mental health problems and stuff like that, like can see that or do that and then like go in a downward spiral towards like self-harm and self-destruction and depression and so on. Like this is a really, really challenging time with everyone, for everyone with mental health problems. So that's why, hence my previous video of like dealing with anxiety, because I think like all of those steps are crucial for us to like try and stay sane, which is really, really difficult. So basically like this expectation that people or companies have that business can be as usual right now, like for so many reasons, no, like absolutely cannot. It cannot be as usual. Being productive right now, my God, if I see one more thing on the internet about saying like, especially for academics, like, oh, this is the time to write your thesis, like this is how the next great American novel was written or whatever, like fuck you, fuck all of you. Like this is not a fucking sabbatical. Like this is not just a work from home situation. Like it's a global pandemic. Like people are dying. Like people are literally dying. We're all stressed about, like we're worried about our family members who are here or like thousands of miles away. It's just scary. It's terrifying. And not even just that, like financial concerns. Like people are worried about losing their jobs. People have lost their jobs. People are worried about paying rent, getting groceries, like, and it's not even just the working class, because in the US everyone is kind of like, there's no middle class. Even the middle class like can lose their jobs like this. And for an average American, you can't go 2 months without a paycheck. You go more than 2 months without a paycheck, you're homeless. Like, and it's a lot of people getting fired right now, a lot of people not getting paid. Like it's terrifying. It's a really, really terrifying time. And I think like, yeah, basically business is not as usual. It cannot be. Don't force yourself to be productive. Like I'm actually shocked. Well, no, I'm not shocked actually, but I've been disappointed with how many people or how many arguments I've had to have with people who are like, no, but you know, like we should keep going like it's usual and stuff like that. Girl, like capitalism is a disease. It's a disease. Like it is in your veins. It has infected your brain if you're unable to understand that a global pandemic is not a time to force yourself to be productive for your company or for your job or whatever. Like it is fine to rest. Like just rest. And I mean, as I said, it's not shocking. It's not shocking because we live under capitalism, because like we tie our self-worth to our productivity, and all of these incredibly harmful thoughts and ideas have infected us all, and we need to rid ourselves from that. Like chill and relax and fuck whatever the boss wants. So yeah, clearly this is not the time to be productive. So I think, okay, so basically what was my last point? My last point was, what are we gonna do? Like, what the fuck are we gonna do about this? How are we gonna survive this quarantine and so on? And I think like step 1 is basically accepting that shit is not normal. Like shit is not normal. Shit is not as usual. business is not as usual, and it's okay. Like, we need to accept that and stop trying to force ourselves or push ourselves to do things as usual. I've been seeing so many people online basically complain or try to understand, like, why am I not being able to be as productive? Like, working from home is really not making me as productive and stuff like that. It's not really working from home. It's the fact that it's a global pandemic. Like, it's okay that you're unable to be as productive right now. Like, it's okay. Take the time to adjust to this new life, because quarantine life is something radically different, and like, we need time to adjust to this and take the time to grieve what's happening in the world as a whole, to like other people. Like, every day, I don't know why, but in particular, like, I keep thinking of all the women that are pregnant right now, or all the people that are pregnant, and I just like, because this is supposed to be such a like happy time for them, and I just feel so, I don't know, like, I grieve that. Like, I need to grieve and process that, because these are really, really hard times. So yeah, once again, business is not as usual. We do not have to be productive. I think in general, like, if we are in a profession or in a job or in a situation where we can take time off, like non-essential workers basically shouldn't be working right now. Like, shouldn't be. I mean, like, I'm not working. There is no way any research is happening, nothing, none of that. Like, I'm not even attempting to, like, this is not the time. This is not the time for me to be doing it. I am not an essential worker like my daddy. I don't drive a truck, okay? So I'm just gonna sit my ass home and rest and relax and chill, because we deserve that. Like, we deserve that. And then I do know that, like, some people are suggesting, you know, continue as usual, less in regards to like keep making profit for the company and for the boss, and more in like it helps you mentally to keep going as usual. And if that's the case for you, then that's good, and you definitely should. But I also think that this is an opportunity, and that's like a strange word to use in this situation, but for lack of a better word, I think it's an opportunity to also not do things as usual. So I was looking up online this Twitter thread of someone saying that like the way we teach kids at school, you know, when like math is from 9 to 10, English is from 10 to 11, like is because of like crowd control and other things that have nothing to do with the child if you're homeschooling or teaching from home. So like, if I'm teaching my child from home and, you know, we're doing a math problem and it's already 10 a.m. but the kid is really into it, like, I'm not gonna go say, sorry Timmy, it's 10 a.m., like, we gotta move on to English. Like, that makes no sense, 0 sense. So things should be happening differently. And even the expectation that like children are gonna be able to do homework right now during a global pandemic, once again, not all of our housing situations are the same. And it's just like, the expectation is unrealistic, absolutely unrealistic. So I think like some of the things that we can do while we're at home, obviously like hobbies, activities, that information is already out there, so I'm not gonna like repeat myself, or, you know, like there's like lists of things to do. But I think like most importantly, move your body. Like, I can't stress this enough, especially when you're inside the house, just like move as much as you can within the space that you have. Breathing meditations all the time when I get too many emotions and stuff like that. If you're living with people, give space to one another. Like, once again, I know not all of us are living in huge houses, like I'm not. So it's important that like we give space to each other almost the whole day. And if you can, I mean, that literally can be like, when I'm in this, if you have like 6-7 roommates in like a 2-bedroom or something, like when I'm in this corner, like nobody talk to me, like pretend these are walls. Like, it's really important to give space to one another. And I think like, once again, I don't like this word, but for lack of a better word, you can use this as an opportunity to go inwards. So I am extremely against this notion that this should be like a productive time, and I'm definitely not doing any work at all, like no work, but I do feel called to do a lot of self-work. And I think like basically things that I'm not doing for profit, I'm not doing it for a career, I'm not doing it for any other reason but just like self-gratification and like self-enjoyment, self-fulfillment. So I've been spending this time teaching myself yoga, the asanas, but also a lot of like philosophy behind it. I've been KonMariing my whole house. I've been reading a ton of novels, like really amazing novels, in like writing, doing a lot of writing, like creative writing of my own, things that I've been called to do that like serve no other purpose than just like making me happy. If you are in the incredibly privileged position to have the time to do that right now, like I am, this is what we should be doing. Only the things that we're called to do and that bring us happiness, nothing else. Another thing that I actually really want to talk about, but maybe I'll do another video because it's not really related and it'll just take too long, but all of the tweets and articles and stuff that have been talking about how, ooh, like, this is what the earth needed, you know, like, people are the virus of this planet. Look, I'm an eco-feminist, I'm a vegan, I'm like the biggest nature hippie and like all of that stuff, okay? People are not the virus, it's capitalism. The word you're looking for is capitalism. Like, I'm sorry. Seeing all of these analysis, like people trying to like make sense of it who have no understanding of capitalism, I just want to be like, baby, it's capitalism, it's not people. Indigenous people have been living in harmony with the nature for centuries, okay? Like, your argument is just eco-fascism because you're falling into the trap of like, this planet is overpopulated. It's not overpopulated, okay? People in the US, like a rich person or a Western person, will spend like 100 times more resources in their lifetime than someone like growing up in Latvia or whatever, like a poorer person or stuff like that. It's not about the numbers, okay? It's not about overpopulation. It's about uneven distribution and about how much. It's about rich people, basically, and it's about capitalism. Okay, so that's it from me. My nails look bad, okay? I've learned my lesson. I'm never, ever going to attempt to film a video while I'm doing my nails. I just always watch YouTube videos while I do my nails, but like, watching, filming, not the same thing, clearly. So they're so bad, I'm not even gonna do an up close. Like, they're not good. But anyways, I also want to do another video about the politics of coronavirus, the politics of COVID-19, or however you pronounce that, about what we've learned about social class, about American capitalism, about which workers are essential, which ones aren't, about this government, about the wealthy. A lot of those things. So if I should do that, if you're interested, let me know in the comments or just message me. But yeah, that's it from me, and I hope y'all staying safe at home. Mwah!